Okay, we are live. Here we go. Ready, everyone out there in Facebook land. Been a little while since we've done this, but we are back with 30 Days of Thought with Lucido, there, that side, and Berman. We take Doran's book, 30 Days of Thought, which is right over there. There you go, right there. And we read an excerpt, a passage from the book. And today we're going to be doing Exhaustion 101. And the reason why we do this, besides just being inspired by Jay's book and kind of share the message about how culture matters. Man, this week, do I ever know how much culture matters? Whoa. But we do this so we can become, Paul, what do we become?
Comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes. So, and by the way, Paul, so after we do this, like I do the easy part of just hitting the go live, like Paul goes, because he is a marketing genius, and he goes and takes this stuff, uploads it to YouTube. So if you're not on YouTube, go search Lucido and Berman on YouTube. You'll follow our channel over there. And then also he puts it up on LinkedIn, and also on LinkedIn and also YouTube. Also, you can get your show, the oh my goodness,
Take 5 with Paul Lucido.
Take 5 with Paul Lucido.
Yeah, and then like Andrew said, for sure on LinkedIn, jump on the group page. Just go to hashtag Lucido and Berman, and you'll see all the posts of all the videos we've done. Andrew and I have actually done 14. This could very well be the 15th episode that we're doing today. And I've been feeling a little bit remiss. He is too, because we've both been busy with the trade show circuit. There's been a lot happening. We just got back again from Las Vegas. I know Andrew's been traveling as well. So anyway, we had a great time, though. Got to meet a lot of great people, including, just really quick, if I can just jump in, I got to meet Jenna Silverman, who is the editor of 30 Days of Thought. She's an amazing woman. Also got to meet Christine Beckwith for the very, very first time, and I really, really enjoyed her as well. It was very good, my wife and I both. So anyway, look, let's just dive into this, Andrew. I'm going to throw it back to you, brother.
Fantastic. All right, people, we do have some people watching here. So it says 3 people watching. Okay. So that's basically like my dad, Darla, and probably my wife. So if you're watching, let us know. Speak up there. So all right. So here we're gonna go Exhaustion 101. Let's start off with Jay's kind of summarization of the passage. Do not allow exhaustion to become an uncomplicated mission. Because those missions are going to change lives. Oh, sorry, an uncompleted mission. I'm going to say that again because it's worth repeating, especially with a little more accuracy. Do not allow exhaustion to become an uncompleted mission, because those missions are going to change lives. And as always, I love to start off with you, Paul. Get your insights with this, and then I'll give my commentary.
Sounds good. I think you might have a little exhaustion yourself there,
Andrew. Yes.
So look, this is a great passage, and I'm going to tell you why, because it really speaks to the truth of what most of us go through. So the bottom line is, don't take sleep for granted. Many of us feel that the only way to be successful in any business is basically to stay up all hours of the night and work through. Well, that might work for a while, and depending on how much Red Bull you drink or coffee or what you're taking to keep yourself, engaged, right? That might work for a while, but I happen to know this, and I know that sleep is very, very important. And let me just say this to you, okay? Bottom line, you need to reprieve, you need rest, you need to recharge your batteries. Think about working out. A lot of you out there are physically fit. You're into fitness. Well, you go to the gym, you work out, right? Well, let me tell you something. All that working out doesn't add up to a hill of beans unless you get some restful sleep, because you need time to mend. Okay. You need what's called a deep cycle of sleep. And that's actually in the theta and the delta realm of sleep, just to let you know. I used to kind of study this stuff, and those are the two levels where you actually really, your body starts to repair and you need it. Now, there's something else too. At the end of the day, sleep allows you to get to feel refreshed. And, today Andrew did a post, I saw it this morning, and he was talking about feeling guilty about getting up at or leaving the house anytime after 6:50, that he felt guilty. Well, that's an example of what we're talking about. I mean, at the end of the day, I get it. The early bird catches the worm. You've got to get up. You got to give it your all. But you also have to be, you have to make the most of it. You got to make sure the juice is worth the squeeze. There's a certain period of time throughout the day where you're going to fall off a little bit. It's like a torque curve in a car. It hits its peak torque, and then the torque starts to taper off. At the end of the day, you got to be the highest and best use of your time. And getting rest helps. I want to talk about something else too that's very important. I read a great book by a great author, Alan Lightman, who I really like. He's written a lot of great best-selling books. And one of them, believe it or not, and I know this is going to rub people wrong, is called In Praise of Wasting Time. Now, Alan, like me, is a baby boomer, but he's got about a good 10 years on me. But at the end of the day, what he's really talking about is sometimes about unplugging from the grid. Let's be honest. You wake up in the morning with this in your hand. This is the first thing I do when I get up in the morning. I'm plugging in. I'm looking at all my emails. I'm checking my Facebook messages. I'm, seeing what Jay Doran might be posting, Shred Media, what's Andrew got up his sleeve. I watch it all, okay? Sometimes I'm chiming in. Sometimes I'm literally, in the bathroom when I'm doing this, right? Literally popping a squat on the throne, as one might say, while I'm going through it.
Pavilion of literary advancement, as my dad would say.
All right. What I try not to do is fall down the stairs like Christine Beckwith did this week.
Oh my goodness!
Sorry.
Yeah.
But okay, that was just a little poke at Christine. But listen, at the end of the day, you do need to recharge, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about having a fresh set of eyes. Listen, you're good for nothing. Doesn't matter how much time you put in, how late you stay, how early you get in. At the end of the day, there's a point at which you're really good for nothing. And if you're smart and you're wise, you will know when, you know what, I can't review this right now. I'm not going to give it my all. You're actually, doing something that's not as meaningful. I wrote here, otherwise you half-ass it. You half-ass something that could have been meaningful. So remember, keep yourself in check. Work hard. We all purport to work very hard. I believe I work very hard, but I know when I've hit my limit. I know when I'm gassed, and I know when I need rest, and you need to make sure you get some rest. The other thing I'm going to tell you is divert. Diversion is really important too, Andrew. Do things that are outside of what you normally do. The book reviews, a good diversion. Let your mind clear out. Allows you to think about something else. Stare out the window for 2 minutes just to let your eyes readjust. Yes, I'm being metaphoric, but the bottom line is you need that. Okay, so let's talk about it. I've blabbed enough. Let's hear what you've got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, so like I'm with you, 100%. It's you need that rest, but I mean it's tough. I mean, so listen, we have. Listen, what we want to, as my strategic partners say, show up, hustle, repeat every day. But something, and we need to be, and that hustle also needs to be within actually a defined timeline, and it can't just be where you just keep going. Because listen, I mean. It becomes so easy to be consumed by our work. Generally speaking, we're all people who love what we do, and we become consumed by it. And all of a sudden, you look actually, and it's like, I can't believe it. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're feeling a little tired, but you're like, okay, I'm just going to keep going, have a little more coffee, and then from there, we basically decide, all right, I'm gonna start doing the math. You start saying, okay, something, I can get 3 hours of sleep. I'll still be okay. Okay, something, I'll sleep a little later in the morning, but you got to let the body rest. You got to shut it down. You got to, so you need to shred. You need to show up, hustle, repeat every day, but you need to be mindful of those hours. So Shashank came up with this, he talks about this book in his presentations called it's the 168 hours. We all have 168 hours every week, and some people actually do more with those 168 hours. Some people do less. But yet I know some of the most productive people out there get good night's sleep. So it's just about managing your time, making sure, you do your hustle, do everything you need to do, and get your rest and make sure I didn't miss anything out that I wanted to cover. But yeah, that's basically about it. Because listen, if you don't take care of your body, your body will shut down on you. You can give yourself as much coffee, but you got to give it a rest. So I think we're 100% in sync on this, right?
Oh, yeah. This is a very conciliatory subject. I mean, look, I think most people would agree. I think what happens, though, so just to kind of, because I want to get something across. We go to these trade shows. You're up early. You're always on. Okay, you're always on at the trade show. I know my counterpart Kevin Ferranio. Many of you guys know Kevin. He's out there. We call him a road warrior. He's got all these new nicknames for what he does. But he's always on, and he stays up late. He gets up early. I know he's that guy. Now he's got youth a little bit in his favor too. He's a little bit younger, but at the end of the day, you do have to be careful. And then you notice after the trade show, you're done. You're in your car, or you're on the plane. You get heading back, and all of a sudden you feel it start to kind of settle in. You realize how on you were the whole time. It requires a lot of energy, especially if you're glad handy, you're meeting people, you want to make sure you remember their names. You're engaging in these little pockets of conversation, whether you're at the party or whether you're on the trade show floor, wherever you might be. So I go back to the same thing. It is important. You can argue it. People can argue it all they want, but at the end of the day, everybody has to finally shut down. And another way to shut down without even realizing that you are is through diversion. Just divert a little bit. It'll help you come back with a fresh set of eyes. And in the marketing and in advertising, when you're trying to come up with ideas, sometimes I got to get up and walk away and then come back, and then boom, it hits me. Okay, that's literally what you have to do sometimes. So diversion is very important too. I don't know what more I can really say on this. I think our points across. I think again, Jay has done a great job of compelling us to think about something that's important. And I got to tell you, I just did a post today that Jay did about being empathetic, educational, and entertaining. It's the Mortgage X podcast that he did with Christine and with Jason Frazier. It's an excerpt. I encourage you guys to listen to what Jay has to say. It's really, really interesting. I can't say enough great things about what he's been doing. But with that, I think I'm pretty good here, Andrew. What else could we say on this subject?
Go to sleep. Go sleep. Listen.
Just make sure you get some rest, and you'll be much more refreshed for sure.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, so do you have any suggestions for passages for our next one?
I don't. I'm going to let you pick the next one, and we can go from there. Hopefully we can get that next week between Tuesday and Thursday. We need to get regular again about this because I really enjoy doing these. And I might even start slicing up some of the discussions we've had where I can pull excerpts out, kind of like what Gary Vee was talking about. He's saying to post up to 35 times, I think he said a day. That's tough to do. I would say, for me, if I could get maybe, 3 to 4 really good posts and then engage a few.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough just to do that, especially when you're doing these videos. Plus, I don't know. I have mixed reviews. I still have my own beliefs about oversaturation. You don't want to lose your audience either. We don't want to bore people. So anyway, follow us.
Yeah, 35 a day is insane. And by the way, we can't have a conversation about Gary Vee and not mention the podcast episode that was just released today. Phil Treadwell with mortgage marketing expert. He does his podcast. It just released today. Today is the day it drops. So Google mortgage marketing expert or Phil Treadwell. His podcast he went to New York City, interviewed Gary Vaynerchuk. Actually, Gary even shared the interview on the Gary Vee podcast. So just great stuff. So here's the one we're going to do. This one, I love this one. This is like this one. I mean, because listen, I'm a victim of this. I'm totally a victim of this. Procrastination is the only true death. Procrastination is the only true death. That's our next topic.
Very true. I would agree. That'll be fun.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's what we're going to cover next week. Again, listen to Paul's advice. Follow the hashtag Lucido Berman. You'll find us. Get a copy of 30 Days of Thought if you don't already have it. I mean, you really should. I'm shocked if you don't, but get it. But that's about it. All right. And with that, I think we're going to call this a wrap.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Over and out.
Have a great one.